Hi, Julia.
Hi, Jonathan.
It's great to be with you.
I really enjoy being with you. Every time we meet, it's always something new and really exciting.
I'm sure you're excited for the new school year, and I wanted to ask you, what are your hopes and dreams for this upcoming school year?
Wow. For some healing and learning and a renewal of community. Say, for me, just reconnecting with people. Maybe it's simple in terms of hopes and dreams, but I just feel like we've been so disconnected and it's been a rough few years. So I'm hoping that we can get back together and get to work.
What message would you like to share to our faculty and staff at our schools?
Well, I would like to say thank you for keeping this ship afloat. And I'd like to say if there is at all a silver lining to me in this journey, pre-COVID and then through COVID, is just rethinking what school can be and what, teaching and learning and being a student means. I think what it showed is that we're all students, right? We're all students still.
Yeah. And for the families and students that might see our message, what do you want to share with them?
Just to be kind to yourselves, and kind to your students. Like, it is a roller coaster, and I think accepting that things won't always feel okay, and that the district is really there to support them. And I feel so optimistic about our future and our shared future together. So, and I'm excited. My kids are in the district too, and I'm really excited for this coming year for them. Do I get to ask you a question? And then you can ask me a question again?
You do, please.
So I've been looking at your flower there. It's so beautiful. Can you tell me about the pin?
Yeah, it's a sunflower, which I wear for a very special reason. And I'd actually like to give it to you, and I'd like to share a story.
Oh, can I put it on?
You can, while I tell the story. I've been fortunate in my life to have some wonderful mentors. And when I was a new superintendent, I had a mentor. His name is Mark Johnson. And at the time when I met Mark, he was the superintendent of schools in a small school district in the Valley in California, Sanger Unified, about the same size as New Rochelle. And the first time I met Mark, he was wearing a sunflower pin on his lapel, just like I was. And I said, "Mark, what's up with the sunflower?" And he took the pin off and he put it in my hand. And he looked at me and he said, and I'll share the story just the way Mark told me. He said, "Did you know, Julia, do you know that sunflower seeds can stay dormant in soil for up to 7 years until just the right soil conditions and the right amount of light and water, and then poof, magnificence." And then his voice got a little quiet. He said, "You know what?" He said, "I wear this pin because it reminds me of children, that we can never, ever, ever give up on a single one." So I wear that pin as a reminder, that our work is special, that our work is about finding the way to ignite the magic, that as adults, our job, and what I want to share with our faculty and staff and everybody who works for the city school district of New Rochelle, is that our job as the adults are to help to create the conditions, right? Because we never know what's going to be that spark for our children. And that no matter what, no matter how long it takes, or whatever we have to do, right? That we will never, ever, ever give up on a single child here in New Rochelle.
That is music to my ears. I love that. And how about for our educators? Like, for them, how are we going to make sure that we invest in them and we develop them?
You know, I shared with our administrators earlier this week that you know, our job here at the central office is to do everything we can to support them. And I use the word with them, love, right? If we truly love all of our people, and we have to because we're in the people business, that means we do everything possible to enable them to be successful. And if we're doing that for our administrators and our school leaders, and they in turn can love their staff and their team at their schools, meaning they'll do everything possible to provide them with the supports so they can be successful, that the teachers in the classroom, that they are able to then love their children, which means they're doing everything possible to enable our children to experience success, to follow their hearts and follow their dreams. So that's our job here in this district, you know, is to support the adults that are working in our schools. You know, that's where the learning takes place. It takes place in our schools and in our classrooms. And you know, that's where we need to have our attention and our resources to support, to enable our faculty and staff to be as successful as possible.
How are we kind of building in some cushion so that we can anticipate the unknown? Because we're still impacted by the pandemic, and our kids and our staff, right, have each one had very unique and individual experiences during this time. What are we as a district doing to, anticipate the unknown?
By staying connected, by collaborating. You know, we've had a lot of issues, and I know our community has been impacted significantly by the recent storm. And we've had some issues, certainly in our schools. And as I visited our schools the day after the storm to get a better understanding of the damage, I was heartened by the overwhelming support that our district staff have shown about just jumping right in and doing whatever is needed. By working together, you know, by working tirelessly. I know they'll be working, you know, long days and long nights right up till the day school starts, and then continuing onward. You know, that is just what they do. And so I think by staying connected, by working together, by really being able to be flexible, because you're right, there are a lot of unknowns. And I think as we learn and as we have to shift, it's just staying connected and staying together and doing whatever it takes for our children and our families.
I want you to give some advice to perhaps new teachers, staff in the district. Give some advice. What has kind of gotten you through these early weeks of coming to a new place?
What I would say, and I had a chance earlier in the week to welcome our new teachers to our school district. First of all, I wanted to thank them for saying yes to New Rochelle. They had a choice, and they've chosen to come here, and that's just huge. So number one, again, thank you. And your commitment to teaching children the most noble profession. I mean, through our hallways and your classrooms, past, future doctors, scientists, potentially astronauts, skilled workers and technicians, and perhaps the next superintendent or principal or even a teacher. Our next educators, every profession passes through your classrooms and your schools. And we have an opportunity to not only shape the knowledge and the skills and to create lifelong learners, but we have a chance to impact people's hearts and as well as their minds, to teach our children to understand that differences are actually normal, that we're all have our differences, and being empathetic and knowing what it's like to walk in somebody else's shoes. This is the work that educators do on a day in and day out basis. So I wanted to thank you for coming, thank you for being teachers, and thank you for entrusting your next career and opportunities here in the City School District of New Rochelle. Thank you.
Now, for the old timers, for the people who perhaps have been born and raised and now work in the district, I think this is one of the things I love about New Rochelle, is that there are lifers here. I mean, there are multi-generational families who live and work in New Rochelle and for the school district. What do you have to say to them?
I wanted to, first of all, thank you for welcoming me and my family to New Rochelle. It's been really heartwarming to be just greeted with open arms, particularly a Bostonian, right? Not always the case coming to New York, but it's been wonderful wherever I go, whether it's in the supermarket, in a restaurant, out to a school, simply passing by, as I was earlier today at the New Rochelle Diner, being greeted by families and parents and neighbors, and even members of the community that don't have children in school. It's been really heartening, and I can assure you that I too feel the warmth. I am loving my new community, and I feel really grateful and want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve.
It's so great. You have any questions for me?
I really appreciate, all the support that the Board of Education has for this community and for our team. I think you have children in our school districts, so you know firsthand, what's going on, and that's really important. So I just wanted to say thank you for all that you do, and for all your guidance and support with this most noble and beautiful work that we're doing.
Well, we are really grateful to have you here, and really grateful for the whole team that is working day and night, especially now post-storm, to get schools ready for our students and for our staff. And I really love how you're focused on physical safety, but also that social emotional safety. I actually do have one last question for you, okay? Describe whole child education to me.
Yeah. So for me, Julia, whole child education is really about the head, the hands, and the heart. And what I mean by that is we want to make sure that we're giving all of our children the critical thinking skills, the knowledge, the dispositions, the literacy, the numeracy, the ability to decipher information, to speak well, and to be able to communicate, to use their imagination and their creativity. Those are really important skills. But it goes beyond that, because I know that our young people today, I have 3 very precocious children of my own, they want to know what they're learning, how do they apply it, how is it relevant and meaningful in their lives today? How can they apply it in their communities, in the world? And so giving them that relevant education that they can literally dig their hands into, that they can see and feel and touch, is so important. And then the heart, I also think that's perhaps the most important of all, is that what our world today needs is much more love, as the song is, but it's really that sense of understanding, the caring, the humility and the humanity, and being able to have empathy, to appreciate differences, and then to take these differences and do something special with them. And I think our young people today, they've grown up, and I think New Rochelle, it epitomizes that, the diversity of our world. The world is in New Rochelle. We have the diversity, and I think our young people grow up really understanding and appreciating what those differences are. And I want to really accelerate and build on that and really put it together. So for me, that's what whole child education means.
And New Rochelle has some really unique opportunities, academic and arts and cultural opportunities for its students. How do you weigh those, very established, strong programs with what comes next?
I think it's really about building on success and making sure that all of our students and all of our families have access to these wonderful, rich, programs that accelerate and give students opportunities. So we have a lot to build on here. And the question is, how do we take it and expand it? And then see where that takes us and what other doors and opportunities, that opens up. I always believe we don't have to reinvent, we just have to build and accelerate.
Beautiful. Any closing thoughts?
I just wanted to, again, thank our community. I wanted to welcome our faculty and staff back to school. I know you're going to be spending time with colleagues, and again, right, I'm always mindful that we're individually, and I share this with my wife all the time, that together or individually, we get to a certain point, but that when we come together, there's just tremendous opportunity to go to new heights. And so thank you for all you do. Welcome back to your schools and your classrooms, and welcome back to our families and particularly our children. It's great to have you back in school, and we're looking forward to an amazing school year. Thank you.
Thank you all.